Your metal mix sounds like it's almost there. The individual tracks are solid, but the whole thing plays back and it just doesn't hit the way it should. It sounds disconnected, thin, like 10 guys playing in 10 different rooms. That's not a gain staging problem. It's not a bad tone. It's a bus compression problem. And the reason it almost always comes down to two knobs on your mix bus, specifically attack and release. Let me show you what I mean. You hear that? Every element is technically there, and it doesn't sound bad, but nothing is quite locking together. The kick isn't cementing into the guitars, the snare isn't driving the groove. The whole thing sounds a little like a collection of tracks and not a band. That's what your mix sounds like without mix bus compression. Before I show you the 4 settings I'm going to go through today, let me explain what's exactly happening here. I'll keep this short. Bus compression does 3 things for a metal mix. First, it creates glue. It brings all the individual elements together into one coherent sound. The kick, the guitars, the bass, they start reacting to each other instead of just coexisting. Second, it adds density, not volume, density. The mix starts to feel more solid, more physical, like it has weight behind it. And third, it controls your transients. Those sharp initial peaks from the kick and snare get shaped. Done wrong, that kills your punch. Done right, it actually enhances it. And that's exactly what attack and release controls. Now, I'm running this through my Warm Audio Bus Compressor, which is built on the classic SSL G-Bus circuit. Same topology, same character. If you're using a plugin like the Waves SSL G-Comp or Native Instruments, whatever you got, the behavior is identical. The principles I'm about to show you apply directly. All right, so let's get into the 4 settings we're testing. It's the same mix, same ratio, same threshold. Only the attack and release change. Let's listen to what each one actually does. So fast attack, fast release. This is the setting I see most often from home studio engineers just getting into bus compression. Fast attack, fast release. Sounds logical, right? Fast is tight. Fast is controlled. Here's what's actually happening. With a fast attack, the compressor is grabbing the front edge of every transient the moment it hits. Every kick hit, every snare crack, clamp down before it gets a chance to cut through. You're not making the mix tighter, you're killing the punch. And the fast release adds pumping artifacts on top of that. That breathing in and out movement, it might sound cool in other genres. In metal, it sounds like a mistake. This setting is the enemy of aggression. Now let's keep the fast attack, but give the release some intelligence. Auto release reads the program material and decides how fast to let go. More musical, more controlled. Now that actually sounds worse. With the fast attack and a slower release, the compression is starting to build up on faster drum sections, and you could hear the volume of the track noticeably dip in volume at those times. The fast attack is also still clamping down on your transients. Every kick, every snare, still being dulled on the initial hit. For most genres, totally acceptable. But for metal, where the transient attack is the aggression, you're still leaving punch on the table. So the attack is a big problem. Let's fix it. Now for the secret weapon, slow attack. Do you hear the difference? By slowing the attack down to around 30 milliseconds, we're giving those transients a window to pass through before the compressor grabs on. The kick and snare get to fully express their initial hit, that snap, that crack, before the compression kicks in to control the tail. The mix suddenly sounds tight, focused. The low end isn't bloating. The kick is actually kicking. The fast release is keeping things controlled on the back end. But I want to be straight with you about something, because this is how I actually work in real sessions. My attack is almost always at its slowest setting. That part barely changes from mix to mix. But the release, that one is arrangement dependent. On a track that is wall-to-wall density, blast beats, non-stop chugging, no space between hits, a fast release usually works better. The compressor needs to recover quickly before the next transient slams in. If it doesn't, you start to hear it struggling, and the mix loses its tightness. Let me show you what that sounds like on a busy section. You can hear on that kind of relentless material, the fast release keeps up. The compressor isn't getting chased by the arrangement. But on a track with more space, open sections, slower tempos, more dynamic range between hits, that fast recovery can start to feel unnatural, like the mix is breathing too hard, which is exactly where setting 4 comes in. So we have the same slow attack, but now we let the release respond to the program material instead of a fixed time. On a track with space and dynamics, this is the sweet spot. The compressor breathes naturally. It opens up on the quieter passages and tightens up on the dense ones. The mix feels alive instead of clamped. So here's the real takeaway. Don't treat either of these as the single right answer. Treat them as two tools for two different situations. The attack is almost always going to be slow. The release is the variable. Let the arrangement tell you which one to reach for. Quick note before we keep going, if you're at the point where you're dialing in mix bus compression, you're clearly serious about your sound. And if you ever decide to hand your tracks off to a professional mixer, whether that's now or down the road, the prep work you do before sending those files matters just as much as anything happening inside your DAW. I put together a free mix prep guide that walks you through exactly what to do, cleaning up your tracks, naming conventions, how to properly export your stems so nothing gets lost in translation. The link is in the description and is completely free. All right, so the real test, the slow attack, fast release on a mix with dynamic range. Let's A/B it with the compression off and then on. There it is, same mix. The kick is now locking into the guitars, the snare has weight, the whole thing sounds like one cohesive, powerful recording instead of a collection of stems. And if you're wondering about the numbers, I'm sitting at around 2 to 3 dB of gain reduction on the loudest hits. The ratio is 4 to 1, you don't need to crush it, the goal is control, not destruction. Subtle bus compression done right beats heavy-handed compression almost every single time. So a fast attack is killing your punch. It's grabbing your transients before they get a chance to cut through. Slow attack is protecting them, letting that aggression breathe before the compressor takes over. And the release is the variable. Dense, relentless arrangements lean towards fast release. The compressor needs to keep up. Tracks with more space and dynamics breathe better with auto. Let the arrangement make that decision for you. 4 settings, 2 knobs. Night and day difference on your mix bus. If this video helped you out, please hit that like button, subscribe for more content just like this, and let me know in the comments, what compressor are you running on your mix bus right now? Hardware, plug-in, whatever it is, I want to know. Now go make your mix hit harder.